Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Rebecca Rice, and I teach family photographers to gain a life of freedom through a thriving photography business. Today, I'm really excited because we are diving into all things client experience, how to create that unforgettable client experience that keeps clients coming back year after year and telling all their friends about you. Let's jump in. Now, before we get too far, I wanted to make sure that you knew about a free class that's happening this week that is all about doubling your photography revenue this year. I'm walking you through the six steps that you need to double your revenue, get more bookings, get in front of more people, and I can't wait to dive in. This is the first free class that I've done all about marketing and really how to get in front of more people so that you can get more bookings and bring in more revenue, because bookings equals revenue. Guys, pretty pictures will only get you so far. And so I'm going to teach you the 6 steps to have an actual marketing strategy so that you can truly double your revenue this year. So if you haven't already, go ahead and sign up for that free class. The link is here in the description. In case you want to type it in, it's RebeccaRicePhoto.com/business-class. I will see you there. All right, let's talk about creating that unforgettable client experience for your clients when, they come to you, you're so excited to serve them, but what do we do to make sure that they leave raving fans of you and your business and your work, and they tell all your friends about you? It comes down really to these 5 things. And so I wanted to walk you through them because I'm telling you, if you can implement these 5 things in your business, which you can start today if you want to, they are going to be a game changer for you and your business when it comes to getting referrals, word of mouth, things like that, just from your clients becoming raving fans. So the very first thing that I want to start off with that will just really set you apart from your competitors is to have excellent communication. My husband and I were literally talking about this just the other day. The fact that nowadays, people just in general are not great at communicating. And when you as a photographer can be the person that is excellent at communicating, their clients always feel like they have their questions answered. They always feel really well taken care of. They feel like you respond in a timely manner. That in itself, it seems so simple, but really it's going to set you apart from a lot of people. I know for me, when I look for a photographer for various things, I can notice when people are not great at communication and when people are great at communication. And I'm more likely to book with the person that communicates well, that gets back to me quickly, that is precise, that is clear in what they're telling me and what they're offering. I'm more likely to book with that person over the person that takes 2, 3, 5 days to get back to me and, is really vague in their answers and all the things. So we want to make sure that we're communicating really clearly and really well right from the get-go. This literally starts the very first time that client reaches out. They first inquire with you. This is your first impression. So you want to make sure that you're leaving a great first impression, and it starts with the way that you communicate. So if you don't use something like email templates in your business, I highly suggest starting to implement email templates. Basically what that means is one day when you're at your very best, you can sit down and write out some templates, emails that you send all the time. Or if you don't want to sit down and write them, I have email templates in my shop that you can go purchase. But either way, you have a set of emails that you've written or that you've used that are from me that I wrote on my best day, so that on days when, you just don't feel 100%, you're tired, you're worn out, your clients still get a response that is the best of the best from you. And so that is one reason that I love using email templates, because it helps us to communicate well even when we don't feel 100% or we're super tired. We want to make sure that all our clients still get served super well. And so using something like an email template, it's copy and paste. So it minimizes the effort. Or if you use something like Dubsado as your CRM, you can actually import those email templates and you can use them whenever you want. And so I highly suggest getting email templates into your rhythm of, bookings and communicating with clients, because it's just going to help make sure that questions get answered well, that you're communicating clearly what it is that you're trying to say, what you offer, all the things from the point of inquiry all the way till after you deliver their gallery. There's so many different touch points that you can have. So you want to make sure that when you're having those touch points, you're doing so well. The next piece that I would say that makes for an unforgettable client experience is to serve your clients well before they ever get to your session. Of course, we're going to get to ways to have an excellent client experience during the session, but really client experience starts before they ever get to you. And so of course, we talked about communicating well, but this piece kind of ties into those touch points that I was talking about. So for our clients, one thing that we make sure that we do is every single client receives, of course, their contract and their invoice, but they also get a client questionnaire. So that asks them really strategic questions just so that we can get to know them better before their session and we're well prepared. We send them a client experience guide, which is my version of a style guide. It's a PDF attachment in an email that basically is walking them through what to expect before, during, and after their session, tips for, styling tips for the whole family, how to get the kids to cooperate. So many things are in this client experience guide. And then we send a final info email 1 week before the session that the goal is to answer any question that they might have leading up to their session before they have to ask it. So this email is packed full of information and clients love and appreciate it. So in all of these different touch points, we are serving our clients really strategically and really well. And the best part is all those pieces are automated, so I don't have to sit there and send manually all of these things. They're automated through our CRM. We use Dubsado, and I have templates available in my shop for all of those things, for our client experience guide, our questionnaire, our final info email, literally everything. If you don't want to sit down and create it yourself, it's already done for you, so you can go ahead and use it if you want to grab that in my shop. But all that to say, we have these strategic touch points because we want our clients to feel really loved and really taken care of before we ever show up to the session. And those touch points along the way are really great ways to do that. Those things for sure will set you apart from the person down the road who, once they have, received they've sent off the contract and invoice, they received their payment, and then they don't talk to their person at all until maybe the day before the session. That's a lot of wasted opportunity that photographer could have. And really, because you are taking care of your clients in the in-between, and it could be through automated emails, so it doesn't have to be you typing in all this stuff and sending stuff manually. It can be automated, but it still has a personal feel. That is going to set you apart majorly from the photographer down the street that does not have those touch points. Okay, tip number 3 for that unforgettable client experience. Now we're getting into the actual session. Let's say, of course, you have great communication, you've served your clients well before the session. Now it's time to actually shoot the session. So this tip and the next one go into how the session actually goes to create that great client experience. And this one is, you want to make sure that you use your clients' names. When you first arrive, greet them by name. The more times you say their name, the more just psychologically they feel a connection to you because you are seeing them as a person. So use the parent's name, use the kids' names as much as you can. And that in itself creates this just warm feeling of being seen. I know we as humans, we all just really want to be noticed and be seen. And when you as the photographer can give that to your clients, it is just an incredible feeling for them. And it's going to set you up that if the session is a little wild and unpredictable and whatever, as family sessions go sometimes, that they're still going to feel taken care of and they had a great experience because you knew who they were. They weren't just another person on your calendar, right? They were a human with a name and a face, and you took the time to call them by name. It makes a big difference. Now, the next tip for that unforgettable client experience while you're actually there shooting your session is to have a posing workflow that you use. Basically, this is almost like a shot list, but it's a workflow that you walk through with your posing so that there's never any awkward moments where you're stalling and trying to figure out what pose to do next, because when that happens, your clients can feel that. And when they feel awkward, that's not the kind of experience that you want to leave them with, because they're not going to go raving to their friends about you as a photographer if they're like, oh my gosh, that session was so awkward. Like, they don't want to tell anybody and refer anybody because they don't want their friends to feel awkward. And so to help avoid that awkwardness, you can use a posing workflow, and you can actually steal mine for free. It's linked in the description of this video if you want to. And by using this workflow, you are always prepared. You know what shot is going to come next. You're getting those must-have shots that your clients are going to love, that gives you, that really full gallery at the end of your session. And it just helps things run smoothly, because at the end of the day, a smooth session, especially when young kids are involved, it just feels magical. And yes, there might still be some chaos and some, unpredictable moments, because kids are kids. It is what it is. But by having the posing workflow in place, you can kind of steer things back on track a lot easier, because you know what's coming and you're not having to flail around and panic when it feels like everything goes crazy. So use a posing workflow. Your clients will feel the difference. And then the last tip that I have for that unforgettable client experience is to underpromise and overdeliver. So this kind of ties into the end of the session. After you've already served your client, you're working on, delivering the gallery and things like that. This is a really great way to leave people with a little sense of magic. It's this underpromise and overdeliver. Now, when I say that, this can look a lot of different ways. For example, let's say you're going to underpromise and overdeliver with your turnaround time. So you let your clients know that your turnaround time is 2 weeks, and maybe you can turn their photos around in 1 week. So right then, they're expecting and waiting. They're ready to text you on day 14, right? That 2-week mark. But if you can just surprise and delight them that, oh my gosh, I was so excited to work on your photos. I actually got them done a whole week early. And you can deliver your photos early like that. It is just the best feeling as a client to not have to wonder, where are my photos? Are they going to get delivered? But actually get surprised with them early. Another way you can underpromise and overdeliver is through the number of images you deliver. So if you're doing a full session and they're all inclusive like mine, maybe I promise 50 images and I actually deliver 75. Now, please don't go overboard with this. Don't deliver 200 photos from a 30-minute session, because that is overkill. Nobody needs 200 photos from a family session, especially a 30-minute to an hour family session. But over delivering by, 20, 25 photos, that's a fun surprise when your clients were expecting 50 and they get 75 photos. If you're doing mini sessions or maybe you have full sessions that are not all inclusive, you have a set number of images that are included, don't budge on that piece. Don't say they get 5 and then give them 7 for free. They can get 5 images, but maybe instead of, they think they're just going to receive 5 images, you deliver 20 for them to choose from or whatever. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this underpromise and overdeliver. The key here is to set the expectation early so that you can then overdeliver on the expectation. Because if you don't set the expectation, it's not going to be a surprise to them, because they had no idea what to expect in the first place. So if you want to use your turnaround time as an over-deliver, you have to communicate your turnaround time, right? And that comes back to the communication piece. That was tip number 1. But you have to communicate. And we say our turnaround time in, I think, 3 different places. We tell them on their contract, we tell them in their invoice, and we tell them after the session, when we're finished with them, that we are, our turnaround is 2 weeks. You can expect an email from us, blah, blah, blah. So now that we've really clearly communicated our turnaround time, now we can over-deliver by delivering early. So you can think through in what ways you want to underpromise, overdeliver, but make sure you set the expectation, and then you can surprise and delight your client afterwards. So there you have it. 5 tips for an unforgettable client experience. If you have anything in your client experience that you feel like is a great bonus, a fun wow moment for your clients, comment it here below so that other people can get some ideas of what they can add to their client experience. And if you have questions at all about any of the pieces that I mentioned of our client experience, feel free to ask below and I'd be happy to come through and answer. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Maybe just start with one piece from this video video and implement it this week in your client experience. I guarantee it's going to make a huge difference. So do them maybe one at a time if you feel like you don't have a ton of time on your hands. If you want to go all in and use all 5, go for it. But either way, really focusing on your client experience is going to make a huge difference in your clients. So have at it, and I can't wait to hear the stories of your clients just raving about you. See you next time.